If you follow my channel, you'll know that my jig recently developed a heater to cathode short on the rad, and it's one of these RCA 10J106 color jigs, and it is the most handy thing for working on color chassis. Well, I happened to spot one. I asked the shipper to pack it face down, well padded, and it was packed face down with zero padding. And so what we received is trash. You can see it's completely broken here. It's cracked over here. Total unhappiness here. So, since we fix things on this channel, I found in my stash this is a 19-inch tube, and it's a true 19-inch. It's a 19V. Actually, I think the number is 1908 P22. But it's a 19V. So what I'm going to do, I found a 16-inch, which electrically specs out the same, and it's a small zenith matrix tube, and the face is scratched. So I thought what we would do, rather than fight with this, is try and put a different tube in here. Like I said, it's electrically the same, it's physically smaller, so we'll have to make some brackets. We'll have to try and fix the cracks in this, and we have to try and fix the yoke because the coils on the yoke got scratched. First thing I'm going to do is also see a wire here that's cut. Is it worth going forward? So you can see here there is some damage to the yoke from banging around on broken glass, and I don't know if this is that might actually not be repairable. Now that I look at that, that is trashed. Maybe not. Maybe I can save that. Come on, focus. Yeah, I think I can save that. This has got some really good insulation on it, I will say that. Man, thing got ruined. I think I should probably test this before I move forward with this project, but I'm using some of this on it. It's red insulating varnish. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can do the rest of them. We're going to pull this apart. We got to remember this spring. It's very important. That's got to go on the new one. This does not have degaussing. I'm thinking about adding it, though. It would not be hard to add a coil to this to degauss it. So what I'm finding here is that this was in pretty bad shape. You can see it had been JB welded here before. So in these, so this was no foreign object to being abused. I'm hoping we can put this other CRT in it. It's a 16-inch black matrix zenith tube. I don't know how I'm going to make it work because this one is held between the mask and this band right here. So it's kind of a sandwich situation. I mean, I can fix this. And also I see the tags with the number on the CRT number down there. So this thing is pretty in bad shape anyway. It was in bad shape before UPS got a hold of it. Really not a lot to it. I did find some interesting stickers. This appears to be the number 1906 P22, and I found this stuck over the top of this 19 VCYP22. So I bet what they do is they use a 19 VCYP22, and when they etch test tube into the front, they stick that. See, this has test tube etched into the front of it, and it's banded. I think the thing to do here is just to start gluing it back together piece by piece with JB Weld. We got clean brakes, so it'll just go right back together. Take a couple days though. We're gonna set up and test the yoke here. See if it arcs out, let it run for an hour or two on a test chassis. And I found another RCA yoke, and they're pretty much, it could be made to work, but let me show you the difference between the test jig yoke and the regular RCA set yoke. The regular RCA yoke has a bunch of capacitors and resistors connected. It's got the dynamic convergence, where the test jig yoke has nothing. It's just coils. So yeah, this could probably be made to work, but I'm not going to go down that road if this one works. Kind of cool how the original neck of the tube is stuck in there. And this aluminum foil, I was reading, this aluminum foil is for X-ray protection. Yeah, they say this foil wrapped around here is for X-ray protection. Here's what survived UPS shipping handling of the CRT. Make me a bong out of that. Here's the X-ray protective foil. Look at how the glass is ground down here. See, in these three places where the convergence magnets ride from the vibration in the UPS truck. It actually, because those adjustable magnet things push against the glass, it actually, from the vibration of the UPS truck, it actually ground the glass down. This is our Packard Bell, 1970 Packard Bell 98 C22. This is the chassis, if you didn't catch this video, where I discovered that my other jig had an HK short on the red. That's why I ended up ordering this jig, which UPS cremated. So here's what we're going to do. I have a cathode current meter hooked up to the horizontal output. I have the yoke here that I repaired with the red varnish, and I have our test jig. This is actually what the test jig is. I forgot the convergence resistor, so I really need a 150 ohm resistor there for the vertical to work, but I think this is the horizontal winding, and I want to make sure this winding is good. Now, if this winding is bad, if it's open or shorted, we're going to have low high voltage and high cathode current. So yeah, the high voltage lead is just like hanging out right here. So we'll just hope that this provides enough of a load to kind of keep it from going to the moon. Let me power this up and let's see what happens. hate this instant on crap. I can't tell if we're actually like powered up or not. Yeah, it looks like that's powered up. Yeah, the lights are coming on here. Okay. Let's see what happens. Well, we have very low cathode current. Is the maybe the yoke is open. Maybe the yoke is bad. Yeah, very low cathode current and what looks like very low high voltage. Let me shut it off. Yeah, it's moving, but without the yoke, the tuned circuit won't work and it won't really do anything. Bummer. So this yoke is killed? Really? Really? Yep, looks like the yoke got killed. So there was almost nothing here worth... Bummer. So with the yoke unplugged, the high voltage starts to come up and the cathode current goes up a little bit. We definitely either got a problem with the yoke or a problem with this thing. I plug the RCA yoke directly into the chassis and I go up to 200 milliamps and I'm up at 17 kilovolts, so that's not quite right. So with the yoke unplugged, I get 10 kilovolts. With it plugged in, drops down to 5. So yeah, the yoke is damaged. That's a real bummer because that almost kills the whole project. Well, doing some testing here and trying to figure this out. The problem might be in this switch. I'm looking at the schematic here, and this was obviously soldered to, and it doesn't even make sense. I don't even know if the frickin' wires are in the right place. I don't know. I'm gonna have to compare it to my other jig. I don't know. Something is not right here. I don't even know if this is the right adapter, but something... Yeah, something's not right. I don't know if the yoke's bad or not, because I'm measuring this with an ohm meter between what should be on this chassis, the appropriate 2 pins, And this red wire should be making it to this socket, which goes to the yoke that was violated, and it's not. And I checked those switches and they're working, so I almost feel like these colors are not in the right place. This thing is a trip. Suicide time. I connected the horizontal winding on this, which is what I want to test, directly to that. Now, I don't know if that's the right impedance. We are going to find out here because we are in suicide mode. So let's see what happens. This is all a big no-no, kids. Do not try and do this at home. It's just playing with high voltage and something. Oh, it's coming up. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, now we got way too much cathode current. Yeah, not good. Well, seeing that I get the opposite effect if I connect it directly, I'm almost thinking that someone customized that plug for a specific set and it's not working. The generic stock RCA plug is supposed to work with this set without any adapters. So maybe someone crinkle-trinculated that thing, and the schematic does not have the wire colors on it, so I really need to compare it to the one I got at home. Well, I found a 9-pin adapter, so I made 150 ohm cathode bypass for the convergence, the lack of a convergence assembly. And this is just 150 ohms from pin 1 to 2. Right, I'm looking at my jig here, and that red is marking the locating pin. And they definitely got 5 and 6 reversed on the test chassis. It's probably why the yoke is not working, so we'll try and reverse those two and see what happens. But yeah, that the UPS destroyed jig has 5 and 6. Red and brown are switched. As you can clearly see, red and brown are switched. So I bet that will fix it. All right, let's see what happens here. Cathode current meter is connected. It's going to take a minute to come up, I think. Oh, there it comes. See if we... We're a little happier. Definitely. It's a slow... I got this on a slow warm-up thermistor, so... Okay, all right. The high voltage might not come up as high because the CRT acts as a filter capacitor and it's not there. So that could be why we're seeing the lower high voltage. And the cathode current's a little bit low too. But this is definitely a lot better. I mean, we could still have a problem with the yoke. So I guess on this yoke, the 2 horizontal windings are paralleled. On the factory yoke, they're in series with the center tap connecting to one of those pins with a bunch of capacitors and resistors. So I'm pretty sure what this does is that little flyback looking thing is what matches the... This is probably low impedance because this will work on solid state sets, and this increases the impedance to match it to tube sets. Bypass the thermistor and see if it comes up. So I bypass the thermistor, it's coming up. I don't see any arcing here in the yoke. I think we did okay with the yoke repair. So maybe I should get the 16-inch CRT now and see if it actually will work. So saying something is for science these days carries an unreasonable amount of weight, right? I mean, like, we just bow down and worship anything that has to do with science, right? That's how they basically sold us a load of goods. Anyway, yes, we'll walk you to your death in the name of science. So I don't know. I grounded that to there. The DAG needs to be better grounded than this, but I got this laying on it. It's in the name of science. It's in the name of science. Not eugenics, but science. So here we go. This is ballsy. Let me kill the... There we go. A little bit sketch-tastic, but no, the purity, I didn't even put the purity. Oh, I didn't plug the CRT in. Jason JJ. All right, got the CRT hooked up now. Pins are pretty dirty on this tube. I don't know if it's gonna light up. I don't think it is lighting up. Crap. Well, looks like we got 6 volts to this point going into here. But then from here, it's... And I know this CRT works because I tried it in the previous video. There we go. Looks like I got something there. I don't know what that is. Again, no purity. We're looking good here. Let's see if our screens all do something. Okay, red doesn't do anything. Blue doesn't do it. Okay, there's green. Nice and green. There's red. So red is just way off. The purity is just way off. Well, I'm not really caring about that right now. What I want to do is I'll leave these screens down. This should produce a picture. I mean, there's no purity magnets. I didn't even put the purity magnet assembly, so it needs a complete setup. I guess I could put this on there and do a half-ass purity. So let's see. Blue, green, we'll bring up red. And then I'm going to just try and move the purity magnets here. Well, crap. I'll try. You know what? It's not even worth it because I can't degauss it first. So, yeah, it's not even worth it. I mean, it's gonna be horrific. But this is kind of concerning over here. Is the yoke damaged, or is it because I have it up against this piece of metal here? What's up with that? Well, here we go.
I would attribute the success.
I think we have a good jig here. I gotta put it in the case, finish gluing the case together. This, like I said, that DAG wants to be grounded, but we all look good. I think we're happy here. How about some music videos? We always like those.
I'm Drew Barrymore, and I'm hosting the 2023 MTV Movie movie and TV awards.
With Pussy appearances by Jamie Lee Curtis, Tiffany Haddish,
It's all there.
Jonah Howard King, Dominique Fishback, Anthony Ramos, the cast of Vanderpump Rules, the cast of Joyride, and the cast of Yellow.
Success.
Plus, Jennifer Coolidge takes home this year's Comedic Genius Award.
This is a black matrix CRT. What I mean by black matrix is, if you look,
I've got two sons.
see how the colors are surrounded by
Acorn's early account for my son Jack. Say I put $5 into both their accounts
little black circles.
on the day they were born. When my son Tim with the savings account turns 18, he could have $33,103.45. But when
That's
my
a
son
black
Jack's
matrix CRT.
account turns 18, he could have $70,798. Luckily,
I know how much you like safety, so what do you think of this?
Oh no, I'm here for arthritis therapy. It's kinda sad.
Pumpkin plans cover what you'd expect from a best-in-class pet insurance plan, and way more.
So the gluing is coming together, the JB weld is coming together fairly well. I think I'm doing an okay job with this. They were all clean breaks, so it fits back together, and it should stick because there's no dirt on it. I mean, yeah, you can only do what you can do, right? But so this is a 16-inch CRT, and the one that was in there was a 19, so this is quite a bit smaller. So we need to try and come up with some. Also, this mounts different. This metal is glued onto the glass. It's like all one bonded piece. Deadbeat Club. God, I haven't heard this one in a minute. Deadbeat Club. We're the Deadbeat Club. You know, this was, I forget what album this was off of, but this was back when a band would put out like a whole CD of songs that you could just listen to the whole thing. Now we got tracks. Everything is a track. Got to be careful here because the thing will, even with that malleolated picture, it'll still pick it up. This was actually a really good album. It had like 5 or 6 hit songs on it, but there was even an instrumental at the end that was really good. Like, we just can't do this anymore, you know? My buddy Ed, I think, was the first one out of my group of high school friends to get a car. And I think it was like a 1979, 1980 Toyota pickup, manual shift, just bare bones death trap. And we had the cassette, and we used to listen to this cassette over and over. I learned to drive in that truck. And I look back, what a foaming turd that thing was. But you know what? It always got us there. Yeah, that was the adventure vehicle. It didn't matter if the tires were bald with wires sticking out. We would just get in that thing and go. As irresponsible as teenagers are. And yeah, this song brings back memories of that truck. I don't know why. That was a vehicle I learned to drive in. I'm sure I could pop a picture of that thing in here somewhere, but... Ooh, Spice Girls? Ooh, nothing but the best. Now, see, we went from B-52s, which was kind of kick-ass, to Spice Girls, which is sort of a meme band. Just look at the difference, like people having genuine fun to this choreographed crap. This choreographed fun is more like a play date compared to like natural fun. It's like a man-made, AI-generated fake. Yeah, I mean, the B-52s was just genuine people. It looked like genuine people having a good time. I know it was totally staged, but this is just... I mean, this is where we are now. Or what, this is 90s probably. Or 2000s. I forgot I had the color turned off, but that's what the color does right there. It's working, but the purity is so jacked up you'd never know it. So again, it just more looks like people genuinely having fun than it does look mechanical and choreographed, you know. Different era, different culture. Here's a good one. Little GNR. Another one, a band that could make, you know, not just tracks, but a whole album that was good. Do what your government tells you. Your government is good.
The threat of home burglary is, and how police is doing nothing to stop it.
Be a compliant citizen. So we're going to put this CRT in the jig. This is a pretty much new old stock, and the front of it's scratched up. It's a little bit smaller. This is a 16, and this is a black matrix tube, and it's got a totally different type of, what would you call this, banding or implosion protection. So I'm going to have a friend with a fabrication shop get this installed into the jig, and yeah, it's not going to be the right thing, but it works. We tested it. So we'll see what the fabrication shop comes up with. It'll probably be amazing. Here's our jig back from the fabrication shop with the smaller CRT installed, the brackets modified, and as I suspected, it's an absolutely overkill, awesome job, and you can tell it was done by an American fabricator / machine shop by the fact that all of the fasteners are now hex, or what do you call those, Allens. That's sort of the United States favorite. So there it is, and it's a test jig, it's not a TV. So the front of the CRT is already scratched up. We just kind of put that there to prevent what was at the fabrication shop from getting any more scratched. Here it is from the back. This originally had what they call them, like self-tapping metal screws holding it together. Now it's got Allen screws holding it together. It's been tapped, probably had nuts welded on the back. I need to find a strap for the dag. So I'm probably going to try and go from this corner up here down to that corner. So I'm going to dig around and see. I also, these were all corroded, these pins, so I spent about an hour cleaning them and then coated it with silicon dielectric grease. You can see this is a brand new CRT. Too bad it's scratched. See if I can make this work for a dag strap. This is off of some set that I EOL'd. One of the springs got Klinko snurfulated, but the more modern sets, the thing is strapped all the way around. On the older sets, it's just across one part. MIG welded with all stainless hardware. It's just totally overkill. But this is the way he put it together, which was sort of my thought. Ooh, we got hair. This is attractive. Hair in the grease. Alright, I guess that'll be okay. I'd like it if it laid down flatter. I guess I could have gone to here, but I'm not going to. It's a jig. Very minimal use. So I'll try and get the degaussing coil in here. I'm just kind of set it in here, I guess. That'll probably push down on this a bit. Getting the degaussing I'm adding put together here, and you can just take this out of kind of any modern set. I got the thermistor here in series with the coil, so it's going to be manual. Just plug it in real quick to degauss it. It's not great, but it's better than nothing, I guess. It's kind of big for this thing, but yeah, what can you do? Okay, I'm at maximum audio gain here. I'm going to plug it in and we'll see if we hear it do the degaussing sound. Oh yeah. Sounds good. So we have built-in degaussing in this jig. I'd like to welcome y'all to my mobile USB ashtray. This is my mobile USB ashtray. Sponsored by Marlboro. Okay, I think I got everything hooked back up here. The ground, I fixed this yellow ground strap. We got the dag grounded. Everything's plugged back in, so need to put it back together and then do a setup on it, and then put this piece of tape on, and that's not aluminum tape, that is lead tape, and that goes around the back. Well, I'll show you when we get there. We're gonna try this out, see what we get here. Well, something's wrong here, because with the screens all the way down, it's still overdriving the tube. If I turn the screens up, it just kills the high voltage. Something going on with the plug on the back of the CRT, because I can move the plug around, and this is what I get. All right, maybe I need to clean this dielectric grease off of here, because this was not doing this before. I don't know what's going on with this CRT base socket in the jig, but almost none of these wires are actually making contact with the CRT pins. Okay, well, here's what's going on, and this is a specialized deal for the jig, and you can see that broken 1K right there. That is what's wrong with the blue, why the blue was just running away and the thing was blowing out. So I need to replace that 1K resistor that's broken. All right, I replaced the 1K resistor there. That's what I had. There should never be any drop across these. I think this is just about a spark gap. I think that's what this thing is, a series of spark gaps and resistors. Well, I expect much better now, simply because the blue is not floating like it was. So, because the blue screen over here had no effect. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, that's blue. This is green. This is red. Imagine that, it's working. Okay, we got to do purity. First thing I'm going to do is plug our little degaussing setup in, and let's see what that does. There you go. So with the yoke pulled back, you adjust the purity magnet rings to get this. This is pretty close. Now I'll push the yoke forward till I get all red. Yeah, pull this back apart and put that lead tape on here. Okay, here's our purity. So there's red. This is green. This is blue. Now let's do convergence. We want to do red and green first, not blue and green. We want to do these first, and we can only do right in the middle, just the middle dot right there, really. So that's about the best you're going to get, because this does not have anything except static convergence. So you're just going for this area, but for some reason the red is not clean. The red is a kind of a blurry smudge. Remember, it's a jig, it has long wires, it's not going to have a good picture. That's contrast. I think we're good here. Yes, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. You better believe it. I have to charge. Remember, it'll never have a great picture because of these long leads. So, well, I guess. I mean, yeah, it looks okay for a jig, you know, black matrix tube.
Trans people, we love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people.
So deep, so deep.
You matter, and I am fighting for you.
Voters elected that woman in Nebraska.
Let's go back to music videos. At least they're less controversial. And you know, I don't want to be controversial. I would never want that. So, works good. Yes, pop, pop, pop that thing. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to restore the chassis in this combo unit with the jig CTC 25. And you've been listening to the audio portion of this, and it sounds excellent for a combo. I mean, it sounds great. So we need to get that TV working. Love me some Backstreet Boys.
It's 5 o'clock. This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
Music icon Tina Turner died today at 83. Anthony DeCurtis is with Rolling Stone.
She's an artist who is as significant symbolically as she is artistically. You know, she became an important figure, particularly for women, because of the resilience that she showed.
The Queen of Rock's career spans 60 years.